Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Well, what have we got here? Well, this is the beginning of something incredible, incredibly good, or incredibly a waste of my time. But no, it's actually an exploration of the hub design, as you can see as I zoom in, that I looked at in the previous video. One where we could make the hub a very, very simple assembly. Now, I'll reword that. A very easy assembly to make. And that was one of the criteria I've been having out in my workshop and on screen. It is anything that I'm trying to look at needs to be able to be done in the workshop as easy as possible. Sometimes not simple, but as easy as possible. And I would suggest having hide that for a moment, and that. I would suggest having two pieces of metal like this, bent with a simple 90-degree angle and drilled through so that the bolt can go through, is an easy assembly, of this part at least. Nothing complicated about it. The only thing is, how do we bend this piece of metal like this? I suggest you won't get an angle bracket like this unless you repurpose one, which means you have to buy and pay for it. But you can actually get brackets like this. In New Zealand, they're probably 3mm thick, maybe 4mm, hot dip galvanized. They're common, but then you've got to pay for them, and there are going to be a lot of them. So my suggestion is we have to be able to make them in the workshop to suit our purposes. Now, this one is shown to be 50mm deep and around about 150 long, and it's got a little return on it of about 40mm, just so it can clear, Anyway, we'll look at that. And you can make it whatever bloody size you want. To be perfectly frank about it, if you want to make it 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 150 to suit your purposes, you can. So what that does straight away is says, that makes it very capable of being used in different demanding situations. So that's a good thing. Well, it is in my book. The fact that it is just perhaps a strap, you can get a flat bar, 50mm wide or whatever width, plus the 3mm, bring it home in a 6-metre length and dock it down to size means it's easy enough to do. Now, what's the hardest things? There's two. The hardest thing is bending it. You might be able to bend it neatly enough in a vise, a heavy vise, so that's okay. Or maybe a hydraulic press would be better. Yeah, okay. We could look at that. So that's still doable, is it? Well, I think so. 3mm is getting a little bit heavy. It's 50mm wide. The wider you go, the more demanding. But what say it's 3mm wide and only 40mm deep? Well, that's a little bit easy. What about 30? Can we do 30, David? Are we allowed to? Well, yes, you are allowed to, by the way. So 30mm wide, 3mm thick. Put a bend on it. I think that's doable. Oh, so okay, so that's a good thing. Now, what's the next thing? Because you said two things, didn't you? You said, yep, drilling the hub. Oh, yeah, well, that's 5mm thick. Oh, and it's a circle. How do you get that accurate? Well, I'm pleased you asked. It's actually quite easy. You print out a piece of paper with the hole positions on it, and you wrap it round the steel hub. Hopefully you got the scale right. And on the paper are the centre points for the holes. That will give you the height and the location around the circumference. Is there an easier way? Well, yes, there is. You get the size of the hub. In this case, it's 114mm across. That's irrelevant, by the way, for this scenario. And you have the lines of the struts that we achieve just through our normal modelling. And we have them on a piece of paper with the angles on. Just the lines, not the actual degrees, but just the lines. You print it out. Doesn't matter what scale it is. And then you take it out, and then you can lay it over your hub and just etch onto the hub where those lines were generated in the printout. Now that is really easy. You just then scribe down the face of the tube, mark where the holes have to be, and then you drill it. Wow, that sounds easy. And I would be going, of course. So this is a easy hub assembly. A bit of work, but it's doable. Plates, same thing, photocopy, take out to the shed, right size, correct scale. Use it as a template. You can cut it out and make a template if you wanted. And then you can etch around the template, and then you set to with your bandsaw, excuse me, or your jigsaw, or your plasma cutter if you've got one. So, or a laser cutter for these lucky people. But this is not a difficult hub to make, and that's why I like it, and why it still has #1 position. And it looks pretty neat and purposeful. This does look a little bit contrived, to be fair, but once all painted up in the same colours, it probably look pretty darn good. And did I say it was flexible? Anyway, ditto with this. This is flexible. Maybe you just have a plate on the bottom, or you have a double plate on the bottom, or you have a thicker single plate on the bottom, because most of these struts can be, or the domes can be accommodated just with a single hub. I contend that in this scenario, where we've got the open front to the dome, you want a stable hub. And in here, this position here, definitely. In this one here, most certainly you want a double hub. Plus, you can always, sorry about that zoom. Plus, you can always put the steel tube in between, making it even stronger. The struts actually push up against it. That's what I contend. And then you can use any combination of struts as plates as you deem necessary, or your engineer tells you to. Remember, I'm not an engineer. So I'm just some dude on the internet waffling on about what he would like to build and why he's going through the mental gymnastics of which one is better. And then he had the thought, maybe other people would like to have a look at that as well. So he's gone through all these other explorations on their behalf to stop them having to obsess over it, because that's my job. So there we've got the things. There we've got the bracket ready to be, darn it, redrawn. Get rid of those discrepancies. Make sure they shouldn't have appeared, but it's all to do with when you push and pull models on a shape that's not truly round. The SketchUp program was never designed to do curves, apparently, and that's why the curves are actually segments in rotation. So, yeah, it would be nice for a proper curve, but, well, not this version anyway. I don't know whether the newer versions accommodate curves, but anyway. So when you push and pull this into position, you tend to get inbuilt inaccuracies in your model. So there we go. Right, what are we up to next? Well, I'm going out to the workshop. And in fact, I'm having another cup of tea before I go out to the workshop, but that's where we're at with this model. Kept it reasonably short, just to cover what we're looking at, but I'm going to remodel the bracket and its position. We're not going to have the packers as I had originally thought, because I think for the nuisance value, I might just trim off these two struts and just leave everything else normal. So there you go. You know as much as I do about it. Right, that's it. I'm off. Make my cuppa, and I will see you in the next video. Might look at those modified tabbed plates. How's that for an idea? Radio. We'll see you later now. Bye.